In a historic moment that will be etched in the hearts of Bradford's residents for decades to come, King Charles III and Queen Camilla arrived in the vibrant city centre today to meet with the stars and artists of the newly revitalized Bradford Live venue. The royal couple's visit was filled with music, laughter, heartfelt stories, and perhaps most memorably, a spontaneous standing ovation that turned an official engagement into a truly human, joyful celebration of the arts. A city reborn through culture. Bradford, once hailed as the wool capital of the world, has in recent years embarked on a journey of cultural renaissance. With the UK City of Culture 2025 title now shining brightly on its horizon, the reopening of Bradford Live marks a cornerstone of the city's bold new chapter. Once the Odeon Cinema, an iconic 1930s Art Deco building long abandoned and whispered about with nostalgia, the structure has undergone an awe-inspiring transformation into a state-of-the-art performance venue. Today, its golden-hued glass facade gleamed under the spring sun as the royal motorcade pulled up to a thunderous welcome. A mix of schoolchildren waving Union Jack flags, curious onlookers, and proud locals crowded the square. As the king and queen emerged from their vehicle, their faces lit up with delight at the roar of applause. The king, in a tailored navy suit adorned with a poppy pin, smiled warmly. Queen Camilla, graceful in a powder blue coat and matching hat, waved gently to the assembled crowd before the pair made their way inside. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Meeting the performers of tomorrow. Inside the venue, the royal couple were greeted by Lord Mayor Anika Hussain and the creative director of Bradford Live, Jordan Harwood. After a brief introduction to the building's architectural history and its role in the 2025 City of Culture program, the monarchs were led backstage, where the magic was truly happening. Dancers warmed up with spins and stretches. Young singers practiced harmonies, stagehands scurried across set pieces with the urgency only live performance can conjure. The king and queen were visibly enchanted. The first stop was with the Northern Pulse Ensemble, a fusion drumming troupe combining traditional South Asian rhythms with modern percussion. Their leader, 15-year-old Priya Shafiq, presented the king with a hand-carved doll drum inscribed with the words, "Rhythm of Bradford." "It's magnificent," the king said, gently tapping it. "I may have found a new calling." Laughter rippled through the group as Queen Camilla asked Priya about her musical influences. "My nanny played tabla," she answered proudly. "She taught me rhythm was another language, like love or dance. It's how I speak to the world." An unscripted song. The royal couple were then ushered to the rehearsal space for Echo North, a youth theater collective preparing for their upcoming performance, Windows of the City. The play explores Bradford's evolving identity through the lens of multiple generations and cultures. After watching a moving scene depicting the 1960s South Asian immigration wave, the queen wiped a tear from her cheek. "Your storytelling is so raw and honest," she told the young actors. "Thank you for sharing that with us." In a moment that none could have anticipated, 17-year-old Amal Noor, one of the cast members, asked the king if he had a favorite song. The king laughed lightly and said, "Oh, I'm terribly out of touch, I'm afraid. But I've always been partial to a bit of Lennon and McCartney." Without hesitation, a nearby pianist started playing the opening chords of Let It Be. One voice began, then another joined, then another. Within seconds, the entire room was singing. The king, visibly moved, quietly sang along under his breath, while Queen Camilla clasped his hand with a smile. A touch of the royal stage. Not content to simply observe, the queen surprised everyone by accepting an invitation to read a few lines from The Tempest alongside the cast of Bradford Shakes, a modern youth Shakespeare troupe. She played Prospera, a gender-flipped version of the classic character, with regal poise. "Be cheerful, sir. Our revels now are ended," she recited, her voice resonating with emotion. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. The room was still as the queen finished. Then, the applause erupted, not just for her performance, but for the symbolism of it all. A queen performing Shakespeare in a reclaimed venue, surrounded by a diverse group of young creatives, many of whom had never met royalty before, let alone shared a stage. The Bradford Live moment. After a whirlwind of backstage encounters, the royal couple entered the main auditorium for a special showcase of what Bradford Live has to offer. The show began with a soaring solo from opera student Harun Iqbal, followed by a street dance performance from Urban Roots, a troupe of teenagers who had trained in parking lots and school gyms until Bradford Live gave them a professional platform. The finale was a fusion performance titled Heartbeat of Bradford, featuring over 100 young performers on stage, from violinists to rappers, Bhangra dancers to brass bands. The entire auditorium vibrated with energy, joy, and unity. As the final note echoed and the performers raised their fists in triumph, the king and queen stood with the entire audience in a standing ovation. The king leaned over to the queen and was caught on camera saying, "This is the future. And it's glorious." Beyond the ceremony. After the performances, the king addressed the audience briefly. His voice, though formal, carried a rare note of personal reflection. "My mother once said that art and culture are the soul of a nation," he began. Today, in this remarkable venue, surrounded by so many talented individuals, I feel that soul beating strong in Bradford. He continued, "It is not only the buildings that are restored here, it is the confidence, the dreams, the collective voice of a city that has long deserved to be heard." He ended by thanking the performers and organizers for reminding the nation that beauty, resilience, and creativity are not confined to capitals or palaces, but flourish wherever communities are given the chance to rise. Lasting legacy. As the royal couple departed, they were presented with a mosaic portrait made entirely of broken records and CDs by local artist Zain al-Rashid. It depicted the Bradford skyline blending into musical notes. "What a marvelous gift," Queen Camilla said, her eyes scanning the intricate artwork. "It will hang in pride of place, I promise you." The royal visit to Bradford Live wasn't merely a ceremonial nod. It was a validation of every artist who ever practiced in a garage, every youth who wrote poetry in the margins of their math books, every teacher who stayed late to help with the school play, and every citizen who believed that their city could rise again. For Bradford, this day was not just a royal visit, it was a coronation of spirit. And if the performances were any indication, the city is not only alive, it's thriving. Watch the full video. For those who missed the live broadcast, you can watch the full video of the King and Queen's visit to Bradford Live on the official City of Culture 2025 channel or via royal.uk. Be sure to catch the moving musical moment, the Queen's Shakespeare reading, and the stunning finale that had the entire auditorium on its feet. It's more than just a video, it's a glimpse into the soul of a city reborn. Subscribe the channel to get such videos.